Yeah. So welcome back for today's session. Okay. So today we're going to learn about importance of the documentation across views. So in the last class we learned about if you want to make a documentation. So what are the things you have to include in your documentation? We learn about that in terms of 7 components, right? Context view, for example, the primary representation, any glossary terms, etc., etc. So we have 3 types of views actually. The first one is a module view, next one is a component character view, and last one is an allocation view. So each view taking its own part in documentation, right? Now here the author, after including the main information as a part of a documentation, nothing but the contents or index, he want to highlight some views information also, because a view, without view there is no documentation or there is no project. Okay, so the view gives a perspective for any stakeholder to view his notation, right? It is using for the project also, along with it is using for our stakeholder also. So further, the author has given importance to give few lines regarding the documentation across views. Okay, so what it does, it captures the information that applies to views. Okay, now how it is going to be, see. So this is the thing we have to include for your views information in your documentation about those views. So one is a view catalog, one is a view template. Okay, we have to include as a part of the first part. Next, regarding the architecture, the documentation also contains architecture. So in the last class we learned about the contents to include in the documentation, 7 parts. But here there should be architecture we have to be follow, which view we have to come as a first part, the second part, third part, final conclusion where we have to conclude. So those things can be called as architecture. So that architecture contains the system overview, mapping between views, list of elements and project glossary, and finally the main truth about your architecture. So these come there as a part of a documentation across views. As a first part we are going to discuss about the view catalog. So how the document is organized to serve as a stakeholder. See, if you want to any shop or any new thing to buy in any shop, what they will give, some catalog will give. It is for same for the restaurant also. The catalog will give a full information regarding the items or elements they contain. Maybe that is not in depth, but in light way, in a light way, they want to represent the element they have to include in your project or your application. That is nothing but the view, that is nothing but the catalog. So here also, for any stakeholder, if you want to know about the application, they have to learn about the views only, right? So for this view information, the author want to convey about, there are 2 methods to include that. The first one is a view catalog, next one is a view template. What is a view catalog? Information containing or using in your project. Okay, so the view catalog, what is it? We will see. A view catalog is a reader's introduction to the views. So they are going to introduce about the views to the readers that the architecture has chosen to include in the suite of documentation. So whatever architecture has been suggested to include about the views for the application, those information is available in your catalog. Next, when using the documentation suite as a basis for the communication, it is necessary. So as if there is nothing instead of documentation to present about an application, okay, for any stakeholders they are going to be in the project, this is the main theme or this is the thing by which we can convey about your application. Okay, a catalog contains about the view. Any catalog about the view contains one entry. How many views whatever you have? We have 3 main views actually. Okay, so if you want to include few more, those views information contains, each one contains one entry. Okay, one entry. What are those? What are those means? See, for example, name of the catalog first of all, description about your elements, those types, relation types and properties. So all are included in your view catalog. Next one about the description of your view. So what is the main mean of this view? And coming to management information. So this is a management information. What it contains means latest version of the view, location of the view document, where the view is going to be in your document, and finally owner of the view document, who created that document. So all this information is available in the view catalog. Okay, ma? Next one is a view template. So hope you know, all of you know about what is a template. It will give the temporary architecture for any representation, whether it is a house, whether it is a shopping mall, whether it is any other college building or school building, whatever it is. There is no constraint in that. Okay. View template is a standard organization for a view. Okay. So it contains the standard parts of a view document and the contents and the roles for each. So what we have to include for your view in the documentation is going to be included in the view template. So the purpose of a view template is that of any standard organization. For what? It helps the reader navigate quickly to a section of interest. Okay. So and it helps to write or organize information and establish criteria for knowing. Only just a representation methodology I can say. Means the way you want to represent your application, which is the first, which is the second, which is the third, arranging of your content is nothing but the template. Okay. Next, what the architecture is. Coming to the architecture of your documentation. Till now we are going to learn about, till now we had learned about your project architecture till now. But here is comes about documentation architecture. So what it contains. See what the project documentation architecture contains, ma. So I am an MTech coordinator, right, for the MTech people. So what I suggest for them is to arrange their documentation, project documentation in terms of first list of figures, list of abbreviations, list of anything. Later we have to arrange the abstract. Later we have to introduce your project. Later we have to gather the requirements. Later we have to give your project implementation methods or in terms of design. Later we have to include any other applications which are going to be useful by your application. Later they have to include the testing. Later they have to include the results. Later they have to include their terminology. What is the terminology? Whatever they have been referred about your websites, books or any other magazines, they can include index references we can say. So that is the architecture. So like here also what the architecture contains is system overview. System overview. Total architecture information. Your software project architecture information is in terms of system overview. So short rows, short information along with the background, along with the conditions. What is the intent? What is the main motto of this architecture is with a consistent mental model of the system and its purpose, which we are discussing again and again. Okay. Sometimes the project at large will have a system overview, in which case this section of the documentation simply points to that. Okay. Mapping between views. So another thing we have to include here is mapping between views. In this architecture, first thing what we have to include, system overview information. Next one is a mapping between views. So is there any connectivity between one view to another view? From module to component, from component to allocation, is there any connectivity? If it is, how they are going to connected? One to one or one to many or many to many? Okay, so like that we have two things. So helping the reader of the documentation understand the relationship between views, which gives him a powerful insight into how the architecture works. Architecture means flow of data, Nana. Architecture, what is the main theme of the architecture? The overall structure of your project, so that the flow of data can be conveyed by using this architecture, right? So it is going to provide the relationship by providing mappings from one to one view. So they can be relatively simple, one to one or one to many, right? So no need to have always mapping between one to one or one to many. It depends upon our project, right? So in general, it contains the parts of element information also, mapping between every pair of views. Yeah, choose the one that provides the most insight. So whatever you have been feeling, it's important to include in your project documentation. Okay, that should be included. Okay, next, element list. It also should contain the element list. What are the elements you have been used in your project? That element list should provide this architecture. Along with it, it have to provide it has to provide project glossary. What is a glossary, ma? The glossary list and define terms unique to the system. The terminology have been used. Okay, so it contains a list of acronyms also, that is abbreviations and meaning of each. Right. So if an appropriate glossary already exists, a pointed to it will suffice here. Whenever we used to give some appendix, right? We used to give some appendix in a project. What it contains, it gives a list. If you are not able to accommodate your list in your project, that list can be give link to the appendix. It can be very flexible to us. Instead of explaining total thing at one place, we can go to end. So here also, if there is anything existed already about your project terminology, instead of giving insight, here we can go to the appendix. Okay, ma? So why the architecture, last part, why the architecture is a way, it is rational. So it's a rational only. What is the rational? Truth. So what the main feature or working of any view. So without working or without feature of any view, we are not able to understood that. How can you read further information? So first of all, every documenter who is going to prepare the document, that is a writer, they have to introduce about the views information. Okay, so one might use a rational to explain what it contains, how it is going to be satisfied. Okay, what is the satisfying constraints? See, if anybody is questioning how it is going to be useful in the society, we have to convey to them, yeah, these are the basic requirements for the society and they are going to be posing some constraint for us. So we are going to be satisfy those constraints. Okay, so the effect of the architecture when adding a foreseen, new requirement are changing and existing one. So this one, if your information is perfect in your documentation, if anyone want to change your application or they want to extend your application, that can be useful in our documentation. That is a truthness, valuable thing, the major theme of your application can include. Okay, and what are the constraints you are going to be followed to satisfy your application? Okay, if you want to alternate with your decisions, if you want to make a move with your decisions, then what are those? We have to convey that. Okay, ma? So that's about this 4.5, that is about documentation across views. So we finished now the first part of your fourth part, that is what is the first part is documenting software architectures. The second part is reconstructing software architectures. Here we have constructed the documentation. Next we have to reconstruct the software architectures. What is the need of this reconstruction means, see, after finishing with all means of your documentation, you have been lost your documentation or some elements are missing in your documentation or you are not able to satisfy actual concept with what you have presented in the documentation. Your project is showing some other results but your documentation is something else. Okay, if that is the case, then we have to reconstruct your documentation. Okay, now we will see a small introduction about this. The part 2 contains introduction, information extraction, database construction, view fusion, and finally reconstruction. Now we will see this one by one. Just first part we will discuss here, ma. The remaining parts we will discuss in the next videos. Okay, so introduction. The introduction contains why reconstruction, why we have to go for reconstruction. Okay, see, for example, you have been given a responsibility to reconstruct your project or a software architecture you have been given. But please try to become a software architecture for your project, current project, which is already has been developed by some other person. What you will do, without going any details, can you start? No, na? We have to start with the documentation. But if the documentation has been lost, what is your position? Just imagine. It's out of coverage area, right? To think. If that is the case, so some cases, some scenarios I want to discuss to you when we have to use this reconstruction concept. See, perhaps the architecture was never recorded. Whatever architecture they have been developed, they never recorded or they put on a paper. They didn't file any information. If that is the case, perhaps it was recorded but the documentation has been lost. Unfortunately, the documentation has been lost. But next, third one which I discussed previously, the longer, not synchronized, no longer synchronized. I forgot to highlight this no word. No longer synchronized means it is not up to the mark or up to date according to the application it is presenting now. If that is the case, we have to start our reconstruction to give answers to questions like this. How do you maintain such a system? How do you maintain such a system? So what are the capability for you? How you maintain that application? And what is its evolution if you want to include more? Or what is your historical data to start your previous application? Okay, so if you want to give answers for this question, we have to start the reconstruction. Yes. The above questions can be answered using architecture reconstruction, in which as built means it is over. As built architecture of an implemented system is obtained from an existing system. We have to start. So for that, what we have to do now? We have to prepare some analysis. So how they have been used, what the views they have been implemented, what is the connectivity they have been taken, where it is applied. If you consider all the things at one place, we can start our reconstruction. Yes, what the result it is giving, right? So these are the things we have to think for the reconstruction. So reconstruction process. So reconstruction process is not a simple thing, ma. It can be interpretive. We have to go to one form to another. We should be interact with the stakeholders which have been using that project previously. We have to repeat the same steps until we get the same result. Okay, so this is a reconstruction process. So for what we need some skills called as a reverse engineering. No, till now we came from first to last. We came to the result part of a project. But unfortunately, as we lost the documentation and the concept of this architecture, we have to go from back to front or end to start. Why? Based upon the result it is giving, we have to go back to start with documentation as it is giving the result like this. So what are the methodologies they have been taken? What are the data type they have taken? What are the modules they have been implemented? So we have to question ourselves to go back, right? It is called as a reverse engineering, such as reconstruct from implementation of elements. So we have to start implementing those elements which are giving that result. And try to verify the compiled construction techniques and tools. So these are G, grep, SED, AWK, Perl, Python, etc. We have to use. Okay. So what are the uses of this architectural reconstruction means? It depends. It totally requirement. If whenever a company want to maintain some documentation of your software architecture you have been built, but it is not available, the main theme of this usage, right? You want to use. So whenever the documentation is out of date, whenever as built instead of you have to use as designed, the design have to show by you. So what are the elements they have been taken, what are the functionality, what are the element types, what is the interactivity, what is the mapping, how many views have been taken. If you want to include those, we have to. If you want to analyze the architecture, we have to start reconstructing. So these are all the cases whenever there is no documentation. The documentation is available, no need to do all this, right? Right. Next, re-engineering the system we have to get for new desired architecture. We have to identify the elements for usage, reuse or establish. Okay, so these are the things or uses if you want to do reconstruction. Where this can be useful, see wherever, there is no limit for these areas I can say. But as a part of a syllabus, the author want to convey some of the applications where this reconstruction can be started. MRI scanners, public telephones, helicopter guidance, classified NASA. So these are all related to scientific applications, not business I can say. Physics simulation, embedded control software, satellite ground systems, a variety of automotive software. So these are all the things, these are all the daily needed things I can say. So for these applications, there should be maintenance of detailed documentation. If that is not the case, we have to go for reconstruction. Now for that, we have to go for workbench approach. Workbench approach. What is a workbench approach where they can be useful is, the author is not conveying in detail about this workbench, but whatever he want to convey is about this, it is a design process. Design process. What, for example, you are doing some working out on some new application. Okay, try to refer that application to start your documentation. He is suggesting like that. That is called as a workbench. Okay, so when we have to use this workbench approaches, it is nothing but a tool. A tool. It is not a single tool. I can say it can be a collection of a tool. Okay, so it should be tools tend to be language specific. Okay, the tools we have to use for any type of language to convert. Right. So where this can be useful is whenever there is incomplete results. Whenever there is incomplete results, then we have to use one. Just wait a minute. Okay. Whenever there are incomplete results, then we have to use these tools to get your documentation back. Okay. So what is a workbench according to the author? It is nothing but a design philosophy for a tool set to support architecture reconstruction. See, he not mentioning what is the design we have to follow, right, in order to do reconstruction, but he is saying that the workbench is the design philosophy, the methodology you want to follow for the reconstruction. Okay, that should be open, means anybody can view this, anybody can change this, so that if this documentation also has been lost, it can be useful for the new persons, right? It is nothing but the collection or integration framework. Okay, finally reconstruction activities. So this is the last topic, reconstruction activities. So what are the steps we have to be follow for this reconstruction? First thing is information extraction. So what thing we have to include and what have been lost till now for our previous documentation. Okay, so the purpose of this activity is to extract information from various sources, database construction. So for what we have to construct this project, the input database. Database construction involves converting this information into a standard form like relational format, entity 1, entity 2. Okay, SQL based database or anything, depends upon your requirement. View fusion, that is integration. Fusion is a combination, right? Collection. So we have to integrate all the properties relevant to a project as a single part. So view fusion combines information in the database to produce a coherent view of the architecture. And finally, we have to start the reconstruction. So how many steps we have in this reconstruction activities? The first one is information extraction, database construction. Next one is a view fusion, finally reconstruction. Okay, yeah, for today that is enough for you, right? So in the next class we will discuss few more information extraction. So all the 4 steps will become the next video's topics. First one is information extraction, next one is this documentation, view fusion, reconstruction. All these steps will become as a next class topics. Okay, right now.